and we had the black shirt movement in Liverpool. It originated, as you know, in London, and the black shirt movement was the forerunning of the fascist movement that developed in Britain and on the continent. We left for the convoys, and when I came back, the whole centre of the city was gone.
Today is a citywide commitment and reflection of diversity, acceptance and respect. It means understanding that each individual is unique and recognising our individual differences. These can be along the dimensions of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socio-economic status, age, physical abilities, religious beliefs. It is about understanding each other and moving beyond simple tolerance to embracing and celebrating the rich dimensions of diversity contained within each and every one of us. What is happening in another part of the city is the opposite and is divisive. We don't want a divisive society, we want a diverse society. I'm pretty sure that all of us here are committed to valuing, promoting and celebrating equality, diversity, community cohesion in order to ensure that all residents, employees and visitors enjoy an outstanding quality of life. We are committed to ensuring that people in our multicultural city have equal access to high quality services and the right to live, learn and work free from unlawful discrimination. I want to thank all the people of Plymouth who are standing shoulder to shoulder in unity to making sure that we will not make the EDL welcome in Plymouth. Not now, not never, or ever. Full stop.
The EDL need to understand, first and foremost, they are not welcome in Plymouth. We don't want you here. What are they actually standing for? Because if you came to England in 1066, you would have found a culturally diverse country. You'd have Vikings, Saxons, Angles, Celts, Druids, Normans, people who the Romans had brought over. The idea that England isn't currently for the English is absolute nonsense. We are all English and we have to celebrate that, and we have to celebrate that in our city.
I've seen students from Africa, India, China and Eastern Europe come into Plymouth to better themselves, for them and their families and our economy. Spending money here as students and being here to work and putting back into society. A very, very simple message. And that's why I'm here today, to support the event and to show the EDL that Plymouth is not a place for racism and small-mindedness, but a place for education and knowledge.
I'm fed up of hearing about people being intolerant to everybody. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is like, we're supposed to be a developed country, and people come stumbling out of their doorways kind of proclaiming that we're being Islamified. I'm sorry, but I would swap every one of them for 10 immigrants coming over here. At least they'd be good looking and happy. Masquerading as kind of defence for something we don't need defence against. They call themselves the English Defence League. I know what I call them. Thank you.
I want to know what sort of England it is that the English Defence League thinks they're defending. It's not an England that I recognise. It's their sort of England is a no-go area for millions of people. Their sort of England is a hateful England. That's not what we're about here in this city, and it's not what we're about in this country. And as my brother Chaz said, it's about diversity. It's not about hate. It's not about intolerance. We are in Plymouth. We love people. We love Plymouth and we love everybody in Plymouth. But we hate the EDL, and today we get to show how much we hate the EDL. What a Tories are trying to do is divide ordinary people off from each other. They're trying to blame Muslims for the problems, they're trying to blame immigrants coming in for the problems. And why? Because we've got the biggest bloody economic mess we've had for generations. And who made the mess? The Tories, the bankers, their friends in the city, big business, and people like Rupert Murdoch.
Plymouth, this is my town. This is my country.
Because what the EDL and the BNP want us to do is to blame each other for the mess that they're in. And we've got two choices. First of all, is we lay down and take it. We lay down and take it, and we let the divisions between black and white people become established. Or secondly, we fight together. Mark Sawatka, who's the man who leads the PCS union, his banners over there, said something really good on March the 26th. He said if we march together, it's been brilliant. But what happens if we all stand and strike together? With 4 million people, the Unison, the GMB, Unite, UCU, NUT and the PCS strike together in the autumn, it'll be a blow against Cameron and it'll be a blow against these Nazis who are trying to divide us in Plymouth.
Have Vikings, Saxons, Angles, Celts, Druids, Normans, people who the Romans had brought over. You'd have Vikings, Saxons, Angles, Celts, Druids, Normans, people who the Romans had brought over. They have Vikings, Saxons, Angles, Celts, Druids, Normans, people who the Romans had brought over. They have Vikings, Saxons, Angles, Celts, Druids, Normans, people who the Romans had brought over. Have Vikings, Saxons, Angles, Celts, Druids, Normans, people who the Romans had brought over. Have Vikings, Saxons, Angles, Celts, Druids, Normans, people who the Romans had brought over. They have Vikings, Saxons, Angles, Celts, Druids, Normans, people who the Romans had brought over. They have Vikings, Saxons, Angles, Celts, Druids, Normans, people who the Romans